Hey Aquarius, it's me Alexis. Welcome back to my oh my god, I was about to burp. Hello, hi Aquarius, it's me Alexis. Welcome back to my astrology channel, and today I'm going to give you your full moon horoscope. It's going to be in Aquarius, so it's like your sign, holy moly, and it's going to be in 22 degrees. So if you're an Aquarius sun or rising looking at this, look to see if it's in 22 degrees. Like, see if your sun's in 22 degrees, or if you're rising in 20 degrees, or you got anything in 22 degrees Aquarius, because this is a hot full moon for you. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty of this reading. Again, if you're an Aquarius sun or rising, this reading will apply for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So Aquarius, this full moon is happening in your first house and your seventh house, like the axis that's going on. The sun and Venus have been in Leo, and it's going to be conjunct in your seventh house on the day of the full moon. And then the full moon in Aquarius is happening obviously in your first house. And then another thing to note is that Saturn has been in Capricorn lately, and that has been transiting through your 12th house. It's going to be really important because the transiting Saturn is going to be, he's kind of like, connected to your first house. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So lately, with the sun in the seventh, with, on top of that being conjunct with Venus, like a lot of what you've been focusing on lately is relationships, and yep, you guessed it, relationships. And particularly having relationships that really help you define who you are in the best way possible. So this could mean you trying to have relationships where you hang out with people who only want the best for you. Maybe you're hanging out with the people who really want you and support you, and they want you to have that glow up, those type of things. Or maybe you're trying to, you're thinking about your relationships in such a way where you're just kind of like, how do these relationships refine me, and what do they say about me? So that is something you may have been thinking about also. And then with the sun conjunct to Venus, this kind of furthers the implication that like relationships are going to be involved during this full moon. Now, the sun and Venus are going to be conjunct, and they're going to be opposing the full moon in Aquarius, which is happening in your first house, which is the house of the self. This is like your identity. This is your preconceived, not preconceived. This is like your, perceived notion of who you are. And then on top of that, Saturn is in your 12th house, or transiting your 12th house. And, to talk a bit about that, with Saturn transiting your 12th house, a lot of what you've been struggling with lately, or something that you've been trying to structure in your life, is just, how you are in isolation. Like, you've been trying to really master that area of your life. You've been learning the art of solitude and isolation, and how you can really still be yourself and, and be happy with it even in isolation. Now, as you can see, with the sun and Venus in Leo right now, you've been focusing on other people, but then this full moon is telling you, like, hey, focus on yourself. Like, today is the day where you're going to, see who you are. Like, you've been trying to define yourself through other people as of late, but hey, you can define yourself by yourself, and you can definitely do that. And that full moon is telling you to do that. And the reason why you want to do it is because when you're in isolation, the last thing that's going to be granted to you is going to be your relationships. And as of right now, you've been trying to master that sense of isolation. And part of how that starts is, literally just thinking of yourself. And that's what the full moon is calling you to do. By, you don't have to completely, exclude or, stop paying attention to your relationships, because your relationships are important, but you are just as important as your relationships. And you need to focus on that, because again, one nagging question that you may have been trying to answer with Saturn transiting your 12th house is, take away everything away from me. Put me into a white blank room with absolutely nothing. Who am I? And do I like who I am if I was completely isolated from everything and everyone, and yeah, absolutely everything? Can I like myself if I'm absolutely alone in that way? And that is something you've been trying to answer lately, and that full moon in Aquarius can definitely help you with that. So yeah, that's pretty much the astrological bit for your full moon. Let me go ahead and kind of give you guys a tarot reading. The sun is, oh my god, Jesus. Okay, a bunch of cards flew out. Okay. Got my first card. card. You're gonna have 4 cards, Aquarius, apparently. Man, the sun is setting right now. I've been doing this for the past when did I start? 4 o'clock? I don't know. It was right after when I posted my video on Capricorn Venus, so it's been a hot minute. So hopefully, as soon as I finish this, I can go make some dinner. Cause that girl's hungry. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make a spread for you guys, so I can read you. Oh my god. Okay, fine. Let me okay. So I'm gonna do this card. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so this is an interesting spread. I think it's a good one, and I just need to explain it. So the first card I got is the Hermit reversed. The second card I got is the Knight of Coins. The third card I got is the King of Swords. Oh my god, I'm trying to focus on this card. There you go. King of Swords. And then finally, I got the 10 of Cups. So, sorry, my nose is itchy. Looking at this, I'll tell you right off the bat that this Hermit in reversed, this kind of represents Saturn transiting through your 12th house. When I see the Hermit reversed, I see a person who is struggling to, be by themselves, to be a hermit, to be in solitude, struggling to do that, isolated soul searching. That's what I think of when I see the Hermit reversed. And then with the Knight of Coins reversed, I think that some of this is rooted in your attempt to ground yourself and to stabilize yourself. And I'll say that, with the way that you've been struggling, the way you've been struggling with isolation lately, the King of Coins shows that, whatever kind of progress or work you've been trying to do to stabilize yourself, your lack of want or ability to be in isolation right now it's really kicking you in the butt when it comes to grounding yourself. And then I also got the King of Swords reversed. So I don't know who this person is. Look at your relationships. Maybe it's you. Interestingly enough, you got the 10 of Cups. I think this might be you. When I think of the King of Swords reversed, I think of a person who is really mentally suppressive. When it comes to an argument, this is the person who always wants to win and only win. And I think this is a person who doesn't have the ability to be flexible, or someone who really just likes to talk down and they like to control verbally. And, for you, this is happening within your 1st and 7th house. I don't know where this sort of mental control is being placed at, but I don't know if you're talking down on yourself or talking down on your partners. I think you're talking down on yourself, though. It feels as if you're not really letting yourself have room to really, embrace yourself. Because I think this kind of goes into play with these 3 cards, because, with the Hermit reversed, you've been kind of struggling to be in isolation. Because you've been struggling to be in isolation with the Knight of Coins, any sort of progress in terms of stabilizing and grounding yourself hasn't been the greatest. And then now, because of that, because you see that lack of progress, you can't help but talk down to yourself. You can't help but feel I just feel so incompetent right now. And by relying on how your relationships are right now, the relational love and support, the emotional support and love you get from your loved ones in life, they're really helping you out right now. But I feel like this is low-key a call for you to be self-sufficient, because this can only go on for so long. And believe it or not, whenever you talk down on yourself, whenever you don't really, whenever you're not really confident within yourself to the point where you talk yourself down, it also hurts your relationships. So this really is in your best interest. So from the look of the spread, I think the first thing I would tell you is that you really should not talk down to yourself. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not be perfect all the time. You're an Aquarius rising, you got Saturn as your chart ruler, you're not going to believe me, but believe me, it's okay to make mistakes. And, sometimes it's unnerving to be alone. I have a Libra rising, I would hate to be alone. But however, we do need alone time. It is essential, and it's really important for all of us. And it's really important for you right now. So, when it comes to focusing on yourself, it's not just focusing on yourself. It's focusing on yourself in such a way where it's positive. It's focusing on yourself in such a way where you're not talking down to yourself. Because think of it this way. If you want to have a good relationship with your loved ones, you gotta have a good relationship with yourself. Other people can inspire you or, help you in having that good relationship with yourself, but you gotta put in that self-effort, because if you don't put in effort to like yourself by yourself, then I feel like it can crumble any relationship that you have, even your strongest ones, no matter who's there for you. Because, you gotta be there for yourself, And I think this is the message that my spread wants to give to you. This is definitely a pay attention to yourself spread, and not just any sort of attention. Give yourself the good attention. I think maybe you've been on the quest to find something good about yourself, and with this King of Swords reversed, you may have been feeling frustrated when you haven't found positive insights about yourself. If you really want to find positive insights about yourself, it starts by being alone. Now, people in your life may have been validating you, but it's time for you to do some soul searching by yourself. And yeah, it doesn't mean you have to lose your relationships. It just means that, with all this, the main problem here is that you can't lose yourself. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Aquarius, I hope this video resonated with you. Again, this video applies if you're an Aquarius sun or rising. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.